My neck looked longer, my eyes looked smaller. I knew that was not me in that photo. I have no idea how I uploaded it onto my own Facebook account. It didn't make sense, but I didn't want to think about it. I wanted to move on to close this chapter. Welcome back to Midnight Mysteries, where we explore the strange, the unsettling, and the unbelievable. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join us as we delve into the shadows. Tonight's tale is a descent into paranoia, gaslighting, and a creeping sense of dread that will leave you questioning reality itself. Buckle up, because this is one story you won't soon forget. Everyone at the potluck was cracking jokes and elbowing this tall guy I'd never seen before, some mysterious, pale, Slavic-looking man named Tony. Diddy brought her usual 24-pack from the brewery, and somehow Tony was given the first beer from the case, a privilege I'd never once received. Then I saw Jess, our building manager, challenge Tony to a game of darts with her son. They looked like experts when they played, as if Jess always did this with Tony, except she didn't. I'd never seen Jess or her son play darts. It was all very weird. I swam through the rec room, ignoring the Super Bowl noise on the TV, and individually asked my neighbors who this Tony guy was. All I got were laughs and reminders of all the great things he'd done around our building. Tony, he's so handy, he fixed the pressure in my sink once, used to be a plumber. Such a nice guy, he gave $100 for my daughter's bat mitzvah. Did you know that? His 4-layer cake at the Christmas party was incredible. Remember the icing? I did not remember the icing. I've been a decade-long resident of this 12-aplex and attended almost all of our monthly parties in the rec room. I could tell you the names of all the residents and which suite they lived in. Tony did not live in any of them. Why was everyone pretending that he did? Eventually, I built up the courage to do what had to be done. I cracked open a beer, took a big swig, and then walked up to Tony with an open palm. "Hey pal, nice to meet you. I'm Ignatius." Tony raised an eyebrow and cracked a laugh. "Nice to meet you, Iggy. I'm Anthony. Is this how you say a roleplay?" I couldn't place the accent, somewhere between Budapest and Moscow. "A roleplay? No, I don't believe we've met before." Tony chuckled again and lightly punched my shoulder. "Always the funny guy, huh? Book any new roles?" My last auditions had been pretty unsuccessful the past few months, but this was not the time to discuss that. "No, I'm being serious, Tony. I don't think we've met. How long have you lived here?" Tony giggled and clapped his hands. "Oh man, you're very convincing, you know. I'm not, this isn't a joke." He dragged Diddy into the conversation. "Iggy's doing a great performance. Check him out." She cracked a new beer. Iggy giggly, new stand-up. "No, guys, this isn't, I'm not doing a bit." I took a step away from them both, gesturing at the pale stranger. "I don't know Tony. I've never met him." Diddy narrowed her eyes and drank her beer. "Is this like anti-humor or something?" Flustered, I walked away and grabbed the first person I could find, Jess. She was mid-conversation with Marcello, who was giving her son a piggyback ride. She spun around, startled. "Iggy, Jess, this isn't a joke. I'm seriously kind of worried. I don't remember Tony at all. Everyone says they remember him living here, but I do not. Do you remember Tony? Please tell me." Yes, of course, I remember Tony." She looked at me with a tilted head. "For how long?" I don't know. The whole time I've lived here. 7 years." 7 years? No way, no, that's not right. What's not right, Iggy? Diddy and Tony came over looking really concerned. "Everything okay?" I lifted my hands. I was completely dumbfounded by how all of this was happening, utterly flabbergasted. Were all my neighbors just messing with me? I didn't want to work myself up any further, so I let it go. "You know what? Sorry guys, I'm a little drunk." All my neighbors stared at me, unconvinced. There was a lull in the room, an icy silence. Diddy took another sip of beer. "By a little you mean a lot drunk." Everyone laughed. The tension broke instantly. Tony even gave a little clap. "Iggy, you always a funny guy, man, every time." I left the party early. I didn't really know what else to say. I was a little embarrassed, but mostly frustrated and angry. How is this possible? Am I missing something? Maybe I'd been hit with some kind of selective amnesia. Maybe I bonked my head somewhere and happened to erase the root memory of some random European neighbor from my building. But when I returned home, I knew that wasn't the case. Next to my apartment 012, where there should have been a cramped slide door leading into the utility closet, was now in its place a simple mahogany door much like my own, and above it the numbers read 013. No way, this is wrong. I touched the door. It felt real. The doorknob brass, the numbers plastic. Bolting into my own place, I locked myself inside. I could feel the minute vibrations of an oncoming panic attack course through my torso. I exhaled over and over until the feeling lessened a bit. "It's okay, I'm okay. Let's think about this." I was inside the utility closet this morning recording power usage numbers for the strata, which meant I should have video evidence. I unlocked my phone and scrolled through my most recent clips. Sure enough, I found a video from this morning. The camera panned across the power meters, recording the kilowatt hours 10, 11, 12 meters. Then the camera lifted up, showing the exit into the hall. From a skewed angle, I could see my door. I could literally see my door in this video. This video, which was recorded from inside the utility closet, which is now replaced by Unit 013. I tossed my phone aside and held my temples. What is happening? Maybe I was having a mind blip, a random window into Alzheimer's or something. I washed my face, gave myself a slap, and did 2 shots of Crown Royal. After 5 minutes of building up the courage, I opened my door to take one last look outside. No sooner had I removed the slide lock than I heard Tony's voice. "Iggy, how you doing?" He was standing right outside, keys out, ready to enter his Unit 013, smiling at me with a small, jovial grin. He had to be close to 7 feet tall at least. That's what he looked like in this low-ceilinged hallway, and he was looking lankier than before, with smaller eyes. "Tony, hey," I tried to sound unperturbed by all my revelations. I swallowed a lump. "Sorry for, teasing you earlier." "Teasing? Oh no, I thought it was a good act, very funny, as if I never existed, really funny idea." I gripped my doorknob tight and tried to act as casual as I could. "Play along," my acting coach would say. "Play along and see what your partner says." "How long do you think we've known each other, Tony?" I tried to give him a friendly look. "Feels like ages, right?" Tony's smile widened as if he had been expecting this question. He drew a circle in the air around me with an exaggerated finger. "I've known you since you were a little child, Ignatius, ever since you were born, 30 miles away." I scoffed, alarmed by this accurate information and by his strange behavior. Tony was putting on a deeper voice too. "Why? Was he now doing a bit since I was a child?" I asked. "Yes, since you were a child, you were inseminated on July 14th, redacted, and you broke your mother's amniotic sac exactly 9 months later." Tony's voice grew lower, speaking from his stomach. "You first recognized yourself in the mirror on December 12th, redacted, and 21 months after that, you learned that all things die and that death is permanent." I staggered a little, tried to stay composed. Is this a weird joke, Tony?" "Said joke." Tony dropped his pretend deep voice and looked at me with an earnest seriousness I wasn't expecting. "I am taking over your place in this community. You have 2 days to move." My hand cramped from my grip on the knob. "What 2 days, Iggy?" "2, yes, I am a observer. I have observed many lives on Earth. Yours looked fun, lots of friends, close by families with young children, all in one apartment. Perfect life for Skevdoc." "Skev, my name. You can tell whoever you want." "No one will believe you. Skevdoc is already here, nothing you can do." I was shocked. I didn't quite know who or what I was talking to, but these were literally the words that came out of his mouth. "Why did you bring up young children? I will swap them eventually too, with fresh Skevlings. No one will notice or care, just like with you." It might have been the hallway light, but his neck and limbs appeared to have lengthened ever so slightly. His eyes looked smaller too. I took another step back and prepared to close the door. I was overwhelmed by this whole evening, but Tony kept talking, pointing directly at my face. "I'm replacing you, Ignatius. They will start to forget you tomorrow, and the day after they will forget you completely. If you are not gone by day 3, you will die." I let go of the doorknob. My hand was shaking too much to hold it. I brought my hands up to my face, and that's when Tony burst into laughter. He slapped the wall beside him. "Gotcha, it's all a joke, Iggy, all joke." He draped a hand over my shoulder and gave a squeeze. It was surprisingly hard. It held me quite firmly in place. "Yes," I mumbled. "You're a good actor, very convincing." His pinhole eyes glimmered in their sockets. "Good, I think so too." The next day I called a rideshare and left. I had lived in that building for nearly 11 years, and I thought I would live for 11 more, but there was no way I could stay after that night. I don't know how Tony was doing it, but he was draining me, replacing me. I could feel it across my scalp the whole night. My memories with Jess, Marcello, Diddy, and everyone else, they were fuzzier than before, fainter. It was like Tony was scooping them out and remolding them into his own. My Uber arrived at 5:13 a.m., and I shoved 2 heavy suitcases inside and did not look back. I spent the next month and a half at a hotel on the opposite side of town before I found a new place. My family all thought I was having a midlife crisis or something, and I leaned into it and told them I was. I said I wanted to try living downtown, meet some new people, give myself a refresh. It seemed to be in line with turning 41, and maybe that's exactly what my life needed. Fast forward past a couple successful auditions and open mic stand-up sets, and I managed to meet my new partner, Amelia. She's really nice. It didn't take long for her to ask about all the photos on my Facebook of the old apartment. 10 years of memories in that old 12-aplex Evergreen Pines, at least I think that's what it was called. I couldn't remember the name really, or the address. I was caught off guard when she presented me with all the pictures on her iPad. There was a photo of me grilling sausages for some small kid who did not look familiar. There was a photo of me having a beer pong competition with a woman in a Molson Brewing hat. She was blowing a raspberry. There was a photo of me singing at some karaoke thing, surrounded by people, including that sausage kid and the woman in the Molson Brewing hat. After 10 minutes, it got really embarrassing. Amelia was a little offended that I wasn't remembering anyone from before. She accused me of trying to lie about my past or something. I told her that wasn't the case. "Amelia, I'm serious. I know there was a reason I left my old apartment, but I can't remember. That's ridiculous. It's true, I swear." Of course, the more I started talking about it, the more I actually did remember a little. Despite forgetting all my past neighbors and friends from that apartment, I did not forget about Tony. In fact, Tony was the dark reminder of the whole event. By remembering him, I was able to rewrite this story with pseudonyms and my best guess as to what my life was like before. He was the one who took that all away, but Amelia didn't need to know that. I bit my lip and cheekily murmured, "I really don't remember anything, babe." She stared at me with an unimpressed face, totally blasé. "Oh my God, Iggy, are you doing a bit? I can't recall anything at all." "Right, okay, very creepy, knock it off. So do you remember these people or not?" I proceeded to nod and improvise names and backstories for everyone she pointed to. I told her that these were all very close friends, but we sort of drifted apart and I didn't see them anymore. She seemed to buy it. There was just one last photo of me that caught her attention, a photo at a Super Bowl party where I was holding a plate of nachos above my head. "Why do you look so weird in this one?" My neck looked longer, my eyes looked smaller. I knew that was not me in that photo. I have no idea how I uploaded it onto my own Facebook account. It didn't make sense, but I didn't want to think about it. I wanted to move on to close this chapter. "Oh yeah, that's what whey protein shakes do to you," I said, doing my best Rodney Dangerfield. Amelia laughed. I deleted the photo. I've never brought up my old apartment again.